Go on. You could have been a wonderful what?
Conductor.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. How you feeling about that?
About?
Like, the fact that you could be a conductor.
I feel great.
Okay. All right. Well,
anyway.
A lot has happened
A
within
lot.
the past 30 minutes. So if that's the case, we got 30 minutes of power to give to each and every single one of you.
30 minutes.
Yeah. So what's up, everybody? I am Mark Monroe, accompanied by my wonderful co-host, co-producer, co-creator, and all things galactic, giving up for none other than the GCEO.
It's Jalen GC in the place to be. What does it, cousins, on this fine Tuesday?
Yes. And welcome to a special edition of Tuesdays with Mark and Jolene, or Jolene and Mark. And I like to call it Fun with Flags.
Oh, Lord. Is that?
No, it's not copyright.
Okay.
I checked. Okay, so we got to talk about all things Apple today. So
these are not apples, these are cherries. But we are going to talk about all things Apple.
Okay.
Just in case you were wondering.
It's like, oh, she came dressed for the...
No.
All right, so yeah, we have to talk about WWDC because... And the reason why we talk about it is because, like, Apple's event really set...
There's always a moment that sets the tone.
Whoa. Wow.
So,
Aisha.
So Aisha's got a dude's
She's
voice
like
now.
Listening. Well, Aisha for the... That was Aiden. Aiden.
Wait, there's not enough hours in the day to have that conversation. All right. So, okay. So the reason why it's important to talk about Apple is because of the fact that it sets the stage for, like, it represents multiple things. So it represents the developer community.
Yep. That,
like, major, like, okay, are we still building, or have we moved on? 2, it represents the state of the consumer's interests.
Yes.
It also represents the state of the economy because Apple is the world's leading company when it comes to supply chain and logistics. And then 4, it's the state of tech because it gives you the pulse as it pertains to what's happening, not only within tech that sets the stage for everybody, but I give it I'm not going to throw up the number 5 because, the AI camera be acting
we
funny.
Can't use our hands. I feel so trapped.
We can't do jazzy hands and everything else, but but it represents the state of, like, what technology does for all other sectors. So, which is very interesting. We're going to get into a little bit. I've had the opportunity to play around with iOS 26. I have my thoughts. I have my feedback.
Well, can I just say?
They can't hear us?
You guys can't hear?
Or this person's saying they can't hear.
Okay, let us know if anyone
let
else
us know if you're in the chat. Can you hear us or can you not hear us? Because I'm also using Mac OS 26.
Right, and mine is ready now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's ready.
Okay. Well, that says update requested. So
it's almost ready.
Download.
Okay, hold on.
So can they hear us?
Okay, you guys can hear
so
us?
Y'all can hear us. So it's just one person that just needs to adjust their audio. So if you're watching and you can't hear us, turn up your audio.
Turn it up.
Okay.
You were talking about... Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so... Whoa.
Okay, so anyway, you were talking about how Apple is a leader. You probably said something.
Oh yeah.
Remember.
Okay, so yeah, it literally leads the entire market. So essentially, like, technology feeds into the other sectors that ultimately play out. And so, which was very interesting though about this event, because it was kind of like very somber.
Well,
in the event,
it was somber, but also, Mark, I feel like.
And where did F1 fit?
Well, we do have to note that what you just said about Apple being like a lead, because if you look at how the market did, there was a bit of a sell-off.
Yep, it did happen.
So, it was kind of...
Did I create hip-hop? No, but I was there.
So, I mean, all in all, Mark, when I think about, like, everything that was released, it was definitely software focused.
Yes.
And very AI cautious. Like, the rollout was just like, we're going to give you a little bit at a time, because they were talking about AI integration last year. We see we saw a little bit this year, so I guess we're kind of waiting till next year because they didn't want to put out something that they weren't proud of. Basically,
that's
what I got.
fair and all, but I mean,
I'm just saying,
Johnny Ives is now with like OpenAI, so we need to step it up a little bit.
I mean, maybe we'll get something. No, we won't.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a wearable device coming out from OpenAI, where they're probably trying to compete against Apple, alongside with Meta. That's also trying to compete with Apple. Like everybody's gunning for Apple right now.
Maybe that's why Apple was like, okay, well, let us see what y'all are gonna do, and then we're gonna do it 10 times better.
We thought the same thing with Vision Pro last year. Well, we're gonna see. And
hey, I mean, they're the leader.
Did you get one?
We'll see. No.
Okay. I think that says it all right there. But all right. So not gonna fully do all the bashing of Apple. So one of the things that definitely stood out to me was the fact is that like it's like it was kind of interesting because we're making this like tectonic shift between the Apple iPad and Mac.
Can we talk about it? Okay, because first of all, I was so excited about like the multitasking features that they now have because now it's feeling more like
a MacBook.
Yes, it's feeling more like a MacBook. Now I'm going to feel more comfortable when I take that as opposed to taking my big, well, it's not big, but you know, it's heavier.
Yeah.
You know, especially when I'm trying to pack light, having the iPad.
Shout out to Erykah Badu.
Anyway, don't get me singing. But the iPad, like being able to customize the windows. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to really
because Stage Manager, I understood where it was going with it, but now it's like it kind of reminds me of that one commercial where it was showing Gen Z growing up, and then somebody said, "That's a nice. What kind of computer is that?" And she said, "What's a computer?" And she was using an iPad,
right?
So it's like it's kind of like okay, well, we're like 5 years later from that commercial.
5 years later.
So now it's like okay, hey, that's now coming into fruition now, where it's like okay, hey, like the iPad is now the computer.
It makes me want to get a new iPad.
Well, actually, anyway.
Yeah, I really want to. I mean, yeah, I do.
Okay. You know, I look at it like this. Last year and the year before that was all about cameras and filming.
Okay.
And with a splash of AI. This year, it was like all these features with a little bit of AI running in the background.
Right. Oh, speaking of running in the background, we can run Final Cut Pro in the background of the iPad.
Oh Lord, here you go.
I mean, not me, but you know, someone who wants
somebody else who wants to do some editing.
They can use my iPad.
If you're looking for an editor, yeah. So yeah, that was very interesting. So okay, now this is the come up series, right? So of course we got to look at like not only what we see,
right,
but also like okay, as an investor, did you feel excited about WWDC, or do you feel underwhelmed?
I mean, quite frankly, I feel underwhelmed. I told you last week, you were talking about, you know, they're really going to need a one more thing. And I was like, could we get a two more thing? You know, and we didn't even get a one more thing.
We didn't even get that.
So yeah, I was underwhelmed. But I mean, at the same time, you know, I feel like it's steady. I mean, Apple's going to do what it's going to do regardless.
Word on the curb is that they're also laying off some of the folks within the design teams of Apple.
Okay, so speaking of design.
Liquid glass?
Yeah, liquid glass. So, okay, I feel like...
I ain't sharing my information with folks, but...
Yeah, don't like put it up. Now, here's the thing. You know, I wear glasses, obviously. And I mean, like, I'm blind without glasses. So, if everything is all liquidy and all glassy and glossy and, you know... I'm so used to the colors, like I might not even look at what the actual little app is, but the icon, I recognize like the color, so I can just easily click on that. So if it's all uniform, which looks nice, but my only concern, especially, you know, as my eyes, you know, are the way that they are, they're not improving. You know, like how am I gonna see? How am I gonna see?
Well, I mean, okay, so
but it looks nice. It looks really nice.
So the one thing after I did a video yesterday and I posted on Twitter, I gave Apple from an investor perspective a B-. And if I was an analyst, I gave my rating as, I'm not gonna act like most where they just give you one. So I gave you a hold. Like a buying hold. So pretty much if you don't own it, buy it. But you
Especially
know,
right
yeah,
now, I can see that.
I'm not saying like, you know, throw the house at it.
But get a little something.
Get a little
something.
something. Like you're from
Leave here
around the
with
way, you're
something.
leaving with something.
Right.
But if you already own it, hold it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just holding.
Hold door.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not selling it.
door.
Like I'm not saying that Mississippi's burning or anything
Mhm.
like that. But I'm, you know, literally as an investor, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in Apple because of the fact that, you know, again, I've seen WWDC events where they're really, really excited about a product and ultimately they want to share it and they want to give you like an early glimpse. And see, my thing is give the developers an early glimpse as it pertains to what is it that they're building towards. And then it also lets investors know, oh, okay, boom, boom, boom. Now you kind of did that with Vision Pro by letting them know that you did not kill off the product. But you didn't go any further on it. Like everything that you kind of like, you just briefly touched upon, and you made the UI, which you adopted from Vision Pro or Vision OS. So, which lets you know that there were some good things there. But yeah, there wasn't one thing that really stood out.
There wasn't, but as an investor, keep your investor cap on.
Of course, always.
But then also bring a crystal ball.
Oh.
And then also a turban. And if you're looking into this crystal ball, like reading the tea leaves, is there anything that's making you think like, ooh, we are about to gear up for an awesome 2026?
2026? So we're saying that 2025 is a wash?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're saying like 2025 is a wash like Tesla stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hella Sophie, hella Etsy. Carry on.
Okay, so if
right.
I'm literally going to say what is it that I'm excited for, I want to see another iteration of Vision OS.
Okay.
Like I want to see another iteration of the Vision Pro or Vision smaller form factor. And I want to see that you've been able to make it affordable. Which kind of sucks because we're in the midst of a trade war. So how are you going to make that happen? Well, you're Apple because you control supply chain and logistics and you're the best.
You got it.
So there's that part. You know, it's kind of, I always find myself, if I'm having to reach for the stars to become excited about something, I'm probably not going to be excited. It's not to say that Apple's still not going to produce revenue. It's still not going to like, it's still going to like produce astronomical numbers when it comes to services. Now that's interesting. Like I didn't really see anything pointing towards services also, but okay. All right. I will give them one thing.
What?
They did one thing that actually I said, wow. The part where they're letting the AI run natively on the actual device versus having to go to the cloud. So can I geek out for a second?
Yes,
okay. So
that part was good.
Okay, you're gonna have the tech nerd real quick. All right. So give me 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay. So the reason why that's crucial, and especially for my devs out there or for startups out there, you know exactly that those costs like that you normally give up to run those types of models, you have to run it through not only through the large language model provider, but then on top of that, you also have to run it through like the services through cloud. So now it's like you're being hit for the API that you just call a application platform interface, which means that you're pulling data and requesting. And then on top of that, the other side to that is the fact that it has to be hosted, which you're paying for that as well. So Apple just says, instead of doing all that, you could just run all that computation through your device and then essentially it's like, okay, then it's like you can still get onboard results. So which means that you won't even have to be online to experience those results. Now that I will say it's pretty cool.
But okay, so looking at that tea leaf moment for that. So
I can see them building out. I can see them building out their. Well, I mean, I can see them in the process of building out like more AI models that are predicated towards Apple devices specifically.
So Apple Intelligence.
Yep. Apple Intelligence gets better and it's homegrown and is being like truly trained by the actual users on the user base. Live translation didn't really do it for me. I was like, whatever.
I thought that part was cool.
Okay, how often are you going to use it?
Every time I'm out of the country.
Really?
Mark, I stay dipping.
I know you stay dipping, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't tell people when I dip. But
I've been out 3 times.
Don't tell people.
No, I didn't say where. I said 3 times.
Okay.
I just got back.
And you're about to go again.
Yeah, I'm about to go again. And that would have been.
But did you really use a translation?
No, we use Google Translator, the little conversation thing.
So are you willing to give somebody your phone number just to FaceTime them?
No,
Just to say,
it didn't have to be. Okay, so clearly, we'll just stick with Google.
I mean, no, it's not to say that you can't. Like, you know, they're gonna be definitely using like things like Vision and stuff like that. That's cool, but it's like there's companies already out there that are like that have been doing that. Like, you know, and
But
don't get me
that's what
wrong,
Apple
they're not
always
always first,
does.
but it's in this moment in
Mhm.
time where it's also coming back to bite them. So it works when it works. It works when, you know, when everything is going well.
Mhm.
It stops working when people get like, okay, what's next? You know, what's
It wasn't
happening?
enough to satiate.
And, you know, I get it, the iteration cycle, the iterative moments that they continue to keep improving on, and we're going to keep improving and improving and improving. But
Now, okay,
I
so
just saw a photo with me and Dan Ives on my
oh, now, okay, so you know how they changed the naming scheme. You
Yeah,
know, I
yeah.
mean, do you think that
Instead of calling it AI, they call it Apple Intelligence.
well, I'm talking about the number part.
Oh, yeah, so they do it in a
26,
year for
the year
yeah, we
format.
saw
So
that one come in.
I know, but does that give like any indication that now it's going to take longer for things to
Nope,
pop
they're
up?
still going to do it on an annualized basis.
Okay.
So, like, their software is always going to update on an annualized basis.
Mhm.
Like, what they started off with originally was they started off originally just by going by the iterations of the actual software or the devices.
Right.
And then now it's like we're just going by the
The year.
year, which is good. I mean, honestly, like,
It's clean.
it's clean. Nobody
Mhm.
really, it's
I mean, people don't really care about that, but I'm just wondering if that is
So-
showing us something else.
So I guess it brings us to the question of should you buy? Like, should you buy Apple? Like, was there anything there that was ground shaking that says, oh my gosh, I need to like, you know, where people be like tearing their ACL to go to the comment section? Did I tear my
No.
ACL to go run to my brokerage account to say, hey, I gotta buy Apple?
No.
No. Like, there's honestly, there's very few stocks on the market this year that I'm actually saying, hey, I'm gonna pull a hamstring running to the brokerage just to go buy it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's giving lobby. It's giving waiting room. That's what it's giving.
It's giving LA riots right now. Like pre-LA riots.
Protest or riots?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
It's like where it's like, okay, we start off peaceful,
Mhm.
but then other people
then
are
that
starting to
rah-rah.
throw their tomfoolery into it. And
Okay.
then yeah, because I think right now we're in the protest phase.
Okay.
We're definitely in the protest phase.
Mhm.
So essentially now it can get ugly. Because like investors have really nothing to really look forward to. Like, this is kind of like considered the throwaway year for a lot of tech stocks, which is scary because of the fact that you see a lot of companies that are like hitting or are headed towards their new highs.
Mhm.
But what are they headed there? Like, what is the catalyst for them heading to their new highs? Outside of the fact that it's the same thesis in which we're running off of for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it definitely feels.
Oh, I'm starting to sound very doom and gloom right now. aren't I?
Yeah. Do you have anything happy to say?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, 2026 is around the corner.
I know, right? So like, we just forget about 2025. But
We can't. We're still living
I
it.
know, but we already know that.
Like, we can't, like, we don't have the time stone where we can just run ahead and be like, okay, let's fast forward through
Mark,
this.
there's something I want to tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you've been holding out, then look. I'll gladly I'll forgive you if you let me borrow the time stone.
Well, so anyway, the point of all this is that there's nothing to write home about.
There's nothing. I mean, there's some good things that we can say, okay, hey, like they hit some good things.
Mhm.
Like, here's where they messed up. They didn't double down on Android or on Apple Auto, like on CarPlay. Like, could have done Car OS. Didn't do that. Okay. There's some improvements to it.
Mhm.
And on top of that, Apple Maps got better in
I
the sense
never
of
use
being able
Apple
to like
Maps.
they're now like, and I want to see how it works. So I'm going to actually test it
Okay.
versus using, you know, the Batmobile.
Mhm.
But I definitely want to test it versus that Google Maps. I mean, they still work however they work, but I want to see like, okay, hey, does it truly learn my behavior?
I only use Google Maps when I'm out, like walking.
Yeah.
But I just use Galactica Charmaine for
Well,
my.
that's fair.
Yeah.
What else? Mac OS I will say it's pretty much the same except with a UI, facelift. So not very much there.
I mean, the real star was the iPad, honestly.
The iPad really
How'd
stole
you
the
feel
show.
about the flick of the wrist?
Oh, flick of the wrist.
I don't have mine on, but the flick of the wrist.
I've been using this before though. Like it's been a gesture that's been around for like a few cycles now.
Are you gonna use the workout buddy?
No. That's a no. So if you don't know what Workout Buddy is like where it has an AI talk to you and try to give you pep talks. And all the while that I was watching the video, I was just like, if I'm having to do this run and if I have this AI talking to me in my ear, I'm going to be like, I need you to loudly shut up.
Well, see, I'm affirmational. My love language is affirmation. So yes, gas me up, hype me up all day. It's like, Julian, you took a step. Woo-hoo!
I'm going to err to the side that you would easily get annoyed.
I don't think I would. No, I really wouldn't, because even when I'm talking to Aisha and or Aiden, they hype me up all day.
Yeah, but see, that's a different type of hype you up. Like it's using a specific type of vernacular. This is not going to do that.
Okay, that's the difference.
Yeah, it's gonna feel very great job.
Like
oh, you beat your last pace by X amount of minutes.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
No, that's a no for me.
Yeah, I mean, now if you could train it to,
now if you could train it to talk to you,
yeah.
Now that's the thing that I'm not understanding why Apple is not like going in those arenas since they have all the data.
Mm-hmm. And it would be in alignment with their
they've got data, they've got use cases, they've got scenarios, they've got so many things that they could like literally turn on the faucet to, which is amazing to me. Why is it that they're not? But it's literally like, it's okay. If you want my final verdict of things, here's my final verdict. Apple is struggling right now because they don't have a Johnny Ives. They don't have that person who's very product first focused at the helm. That's leading the forefront. Craig, I mean, don't get me wrong. Funny guy, knows his stuff, definitely knows how to speak the product. But as it pertains to somebody who's thinking forward on product, thinking forward beyond like, okay, hey, like not just the beauty of a product or something like that, but something that's transcendent.
Truly innovative.
We need that from Apple. Because if not, like, okay, so if you haven't noticed, Apple now sits in third place when it comes to market cap.
We talked about that last week. Yeah.
So if Apple drops again, I mean, then it's falling below Amazon.
They better do something.
Look here.
They better do something.
Yeah. So my final verdict. I was not excited. And I normally am excited during tech events. I love Google I/O. It was very good. I didn't get to see Amazon's event yet, so waiting on that one. Nvidia's event stole the show.
I mean, but come on now.
GTC always just does well. Unreal Engines or Epic Game or Epic Games, maker of Unreal Engine, phenomenal. So like there's so many other companies that Meta's did good. So that you have so many other tech companies that are just doing so phenomenal, and Apple's kind of just sitting there like meh. So I wonder if they're doing that because they realize that nobody else is coming out with anything like significant this year, and so they're just like, well, we could just skate this year.
Maybe,
but then it's like you got to come out the gate swinging. And
2026.
Look, Apple, January of 2026, you're on the clock.
And that's my birthday month. Yeah, I need some razzle, some dazzle, and confetti.
So are you gonna get the new iPhone?
I mean,
you got to see how it is. Now, okay. Now, here's the interesting thing.
But I like
we
this
saw
one.
software. But what if product wows us this year?
This year or next year?
This year. Like unveiling. Like, for example, what if Apple comes out with a foldable phone? Or say, for example, a foldable tablet.
Anything foldable will help. Anything that helps me stay within the carry-on limits will help.
You know what Apple needs to come up with? They need to come up with a dual screen MacBook.
Now that, even though I don't believe in working too much when you're on vacation, but
I mean, it could turn into a larger screen.
That would be dope. I think that would be great.
So if you work at Apple,
right,
holla at us because that would be lit. You don't even need it. You don't even need a keyboard. Like the keyboard is just on screen.
Now that could work. Yeah.
And then you can unfold it into something bigger.
Yeah, because that's one of the main complaints. My friends that work and travel at the same time.
Yes.
Having that dual screen, like they never have it.
Yeah.
Or they have to pack another monitor and it's the whole thing. So imagine.
The most innovative company right now when it comes to tech products and devices right now currently is Huawei. So China is literally, they got the game on lock. So they're in the driver's seat. All right. So were there any questions for us in the comments section?
I didn't see any. I'm looking from afar. I don't see any.
Okay. So I think that we hit them all.
I think it's scary that Apple constantly said no one has access to your data. Not even Apple. Thoughts on that from a cybersecurity perspective?
Oh, okay. So this is like the second cybersecurity question that I've received. But I mean, honestly, we haven't really heard of anybody like compromising Apple accounts. Like we haven't heard of Apple accounts being compromised. So, I mean, I think that the beautiful thing about Apple is that the fact that they've so far remained tried and true to what they say that they would do. So, from a cybersecurity perspective, I mean, if that's at the if that's their innovation where it's at number one priority, I mean, it's not bad, but at the same token, it's just like, okay,
what else?
You're not a cybersecurity company, but I mean, cybersecurity at the forefront helm as it pertains to data privacy. I mean, yeah, kudos to Apple. I mean, I'm probably sure that somebody will be able to steal your data, if not from Apple, but from Meta. I mean, those accounts get compromised all the time.
God.
So
I probably got a scam call calling right now.
No shade. But I would truly say, like, you know, from a cybersecurity perspective, I mean, yeah, they're very good in that retort. So honestly, I don't see any issues there. I think that if anything, you know, they need to use the data and what like not the actual user's personal data, but the usage data to learn like, okay, hey, these are the trends that we're seeing amongst our users. Let's build something that is a custom based upon that.
Now that would be great.
Yeah. So all right, so that's all that we have on Apple for this week.
This was a special episode because normally we wouldn't be on this.
But was it special? Like,
I mean, I'm here, so it's special.
Well, yeah, that part. But I'm saying, like, Apple was Apple really that special?
No, it wasn't. Like, so really, we did Apple a favor.
I feel like Apple let me down, and I'm like just trying to like prop them up. So I may have to go back and reanalyze my rating. I might have to drop the buy and like leave it on hold. Look, Apple, you have till January 26th of 2026. You got to show me something. You got to show me a product, something. Products. Yeah, because the standard lineup isn't going to do it anymore.
Nope.
It's starting to get like, look, even Tesla had to upgrade its models.
We need a total overhaul. Something magical.
I know, right? We need something that's revolutionary and
I mean, which would work with these times. We're in revolutionary times right now. So come on, Apple. Let's get together.
Get with it. So, all right.
Anyway,
well,
I think we're done.
That's enough. So that's enough bashing of Apple and ultimately like putting them in the woodshed. They're just sitting there in the corner until they, you know, figure out their life. But yeah, they're definitely being placed on restriction. But outside of that, software wise, very good. It's stable. If you get the chance, go and check out. If you are like kind of like feeling a little bit risky, go out there and download the iOS 26 beta or iPad or any of the 26 betas. They're actually pretty solid. They run pretty smoothly. Battery life wise, could, you know, it takes a little bit of like a 5% hit.
From the latest models right now?
Yeah, but I mean, outside of that, it's like it's a misnomer. So yeah, I mean, honestly, go check it out. Like I really do encourage each and every single one of you to stay ahead of tech, of what's happening, because we're going to probably get into this phase as we go into the summer, and we're probably going to see some more things come out of the pipeline. Especially, we're going to have some product announcements coming up soon. So stay tuned for that, and I'll definitely be doing reviews on those things within tech. Yes. I'm actually going to be working on my next episode that I film will be a tech review episode. What should I review?
You should review my new iPad.
Okay. I thought we're done with Apple, but
I mean, I still want you to review it
someday. Maybe the next edition.
Okay.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. It was just a simple like fireside chat of what is it that we saw, what is it that we liked, what is it that we didn't like. There was a lot of dislikes, but there's some cool things that were in there as well. So hopefully you were able to grab something out of it. And by the way, in the comments down below, tell us what was your rating. If you were an analyst, what rating would you give the stock? Not a price target or any of that other stuff, but what would be your rating? Would you buy, sell, or hold the stock? Would you give that? What would be your recommendation? And if you want to provide the thesis, the best thesis gets pinned to today's video. So until next time, I'm Mark Monroe.
And I'm Jillian GC, in the place to be.
And this has been your Come Up Special Edition. We will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully, the person will ultimately end our live so that we can get up out of here.